Hello and welcome back to the third episode of the sector update. Again, we've got another employer with us today who's about to give us an update on their sector, so I'll let him introduce himself.
Hello everyone, my name's John Burluraux. I work for Huntsman Polyurethanes based on the Wilton site. Polyurethanes is one sector, you could call it, of Huntsman's business. And just to give you an idea of scale, we have about 3,000 customers in 90 countries around the globe. I'm responsible for Huntsman's staff training, apprenticeships, and I get involved in some wider global projects as well, which makes my role really interesting. Been with the company now for just over 2 years, about 2 years and 3 months, and had previously a 6-year spell with them many years ago when I was a lot younger. We make a product called aniline that goes into MDI, and MDI is then transformed into many different products by adding other chemicals to it, such as coatings, adhesives, some of the top brand sportswear shoes, leisure shoes. It's used for injection molding products such as ski boots, ski goggles. It's used in manufacture of performance parts for the automotive industry, such as sports seating in cars and noise absorption within vehicles as well. So a really interesting portfolio and seems to be spreading wider. So that's a little overview of me and the company.
Great stuff. There's a diverse portfolio that you've got there. We have a lot of apprentices at Huntsman and some of them are at the college. How have they found it and have they been engaging still throughout this period?
Yeah, I mean, all our apprentices at present are working from home, and I'll be honest. Huntsman, it sounds corny, but Huntsman actually is a family business, and you don't feel like a number in the business. And the apprentices are massively important to our future manning, so they'll be the last people we bring back on site. Their safety is obviously priority. However, they have been learning from home still. They've been doing things such as Process Technology 3, HNC courses. All through the college, through instructor contact, through the VLE platform. And to be honest, it's been going really well. It's been very structured. It's been run very well by the instructors. There's been plenty of contact, plenty of progress. I mean, we've had some results back, and our apprentices are still getting merits. They're still getting distinctions, which shows the level of tuition they're still getting from the college. And I haven't had to really manage that. The college have managed that for us, which is another great thing in the partnership we have. I speak to the apprentices twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, and the apprentices still feel like they're part of the company. They still feel like they're learning. They have no issues, although their hours are probably down to about 20-25 from 40 a week. They're still making progress through the work the college is doing with them. So that's been great. They're all happy. They're all learning.
Good. That is good to know, because it's easy, isn't it, for a younger person to switch off and move on from there. So that's really good to know.
Yeah.
Well, with apprentices, what type of apprentices do Huntsman employ?
Well, it could widen out going forward, but at the moment we only employ SMT, which is Science Manufacturing Technician, and this is your process operator or process technician apprentice. And we employ SIMT, which is Science Industries Maintenance Technician. And for us, that means instrument artificers, electricians, and mechanical technicians. However, in the future, we may branch out into finance, may branch out into HR. It's quite limitless, really, regarding apprenticeships now, because there's so many out there, not only at level 2 and 3, but right up to degree level apprenticeships now. So I think things will widen, but just for the moment, it is production technicians and maintenance technicians only. And we have just recruited for this year as well, which is fantastic, because it means even though we're currently in the COVID-19 predicament at the moment, we still see the value in bringing apprentices into the company.
It's excellent to see, and it's good to see that, you know, we can adapt and you can adapt to still sort of employing while you're going and offering jobs and interviewing in a good way. So when you do those interviews and when you do any sort of recruitment drives, what qualities do you look for your apprentices to have?
Right, so always a difficult question, that. Yeah. I'll go through a few things that we always look for. So the first thing, obviously, they can meet the criteria set out in the advert. So do they have the qualifications and qualities required? After that, I would say the main three things for me are: one, the candidate understands the role well. So we interview so many people who, when we ask them what the actual role involves, they have great difficulty in explaining it to us. And that makes us think that they don't really know the role. So how do we know they'd really enjoy and commit themselves to that apprenticeship? So first one, they really understand the role. And you can do that by online research. You can get a really good understanding. The next one is to show a genuine interest in the position. Sometimes we ask apprentices why they've applied. And some actually say things like, because my dad suggested it to me. And things like that. And while there's nothing wrong with that, you think, well, it's not a genuine interest they've got. They've applied because somebody else has told them to. So we look for someone who has a really genuine interest, and that comes through in the way they talk to you about the role. You can see if they're actually passionate or not. And I would say the final thing, and this is this is the odd one, is what we'd call the X factor, a spark, a certain energy to them. You get some people who will walk into an interview, give you perfect answers, but you're still a little bit unconvinced, whereas some people come in and they're so energized and enthused and passionate, and you can just see how much they really want it. And that for us is as big a thing as anything else in the interview. So by all means, I think apprentices should do all the research the company, research the role really thoroughly, but being able to get across that absolute passion that this is the thing that they want to do for their career is probably the most important thing to us, because we can teach them the rest. I think the passion is the most difficult part to judge.
Yeah, I agree with you there, because you're at work for a long time, aren't you? Once you start, so if you need to find something that you're gonna enjoy for the rest of the time you're actually there. We mentioned earlier about it. Yeah, exactly. So we mentioned earlier about SMT and SIMT, Science Manufacturing Technician, Science Industry Maintenance Technician. And those study at Hartlepool College at the moment. What does their apprenticeship throughout the duration look like for those?
Well, I would say both apprenticeships start off the same way. They do the first year in Hartlepool College, where they study a whole range of things. I'll go into some of them in a minute. But primarily, they're doing, if you like, some practical and theoretical training in a college environment, what we'd call foundation training that first year. And after that, if you are process, you'll have further 18 months to do on site, or up to 18 months. If you are maintenance, you'll have up to 3 years to do on site. And in that time, that will be primarily 4 days a week working practically with very experienced technicians and gaining experience from them. You'll work to a structured training program, and you'll be day release 1 day a week, either doing a HNC or another relevant high-level qualification. So yeah, 1 year in college, followed by up to 18 months of process, or up to 3 years for maintenance on site after that.
So can any of those progress to a HNC along the way?
Yeah. I mean, we always give the option of that. Once you've completed your level 3 certificate in year 1, we have a sit-down chat with each apprentice, and we don't make them go to HNC, because I think if you force education on someone, sometimes it goes the opposite way to how you'd expect it. So, but we strongly encourage apprentices to do that while they've got the time, and also while the funding's there. So we like our apprentices to go on and do a HNC.
Good stuff. Other than the hands-on, the practical skills, the academic and theory skills that they'll need for the apprenticeship, is there any other sort of training that'll round the individual and make them a better person and a better apprentice that you offer?
There is, yeah. I mean, part of the actual framework of the apprenticeship now, or the standard, I should say, part of the standard is actually behaviours. So there are 7 behaviours now in an apprenticeship of this type. And typical examples of those are team working, communication, managing change. And the behaviours probably don't come naturally unless you've been exposed to a work environment. So we give training over the period of the apprenticeship in those areas. And this includes bespoke classroom sessions we run. It includes outward bound sessions. So we take the apprentices away twice usually during the duration of their apprenticeship on outward bound training. We all do continuous improvement, the experience foundation level training, if you like, in other areas. So if you process, you'll learn a little bit of maintenance as well. And we do other things such as process safety, and what it gives you is a really nicely rounded apprenticeship where they experience a lot of areas they'll probably go into in further depth once they join a full-time workforce.
Excellent. I'm actually a bit disappointed now that you said you're already recruited this year, because I think I would have applied for that apprenticeship, knowing what it entails now. But
no,
no,
there's
really,
still time, Gary. We may decide to take another one.
But no, thanks for your time, John. I really appreciate this, and hopefully it's given a real insight into what your sector does and where your sector is. So I really do value your time and your busy career. So thanks a lot for this, John.
No problem. Thanks for asking me anytime.
All right. Cheers. See ya.
Cheers. Bye.